You've probably heard this story before. A humble person wins the lottery. 6 months later, they've lost all their friends. Their family doesn't recognize them anymore. They've become arrogant, distant, cold. But here's the real question that nobody asks. Did the money change them? Or did it simply reveal who they always were? Today, we're going to dive deep into one of humanity's most fascinating psychological phenomena. Why does money change people's personality? And more importantly, is this change inevitable, or can it be prevented? Stay tuned because what you'll learn today might completely change how you think about wealth and human behavior. Let me tell you about Jack Whittaker. In 2002, this 55-year-old businessman from West Virginia won the largest lottery jackpot in American history at that time, $314 million. Before winning, Jack was already a successful contractor. He was known in his community as a generous man, a family person, someone who went to church every Sunday. But within just 5 years of winning, his life fell apart completely. He was robbed multiple times. His granddaughter died of a drug overdose. His daughter died shortly after. His wife left him. He faced over 460 lawsuits. And in interviews later, he said, and I quote, "I wish I had torn that ticket up." Now, you might think this is just one extreme case, but research shows that nearly 70% of lottery winners end up bankrupt or worse off than before within a few years. The question is, why? To understand this, we need to understand what happens inside the human brain when money enters the equation. Scientists at Stanford University conducted a fascinating experiment. They put people in MRI machines and showed them images of money. And what they discovered was shocking. When people saw money, the same part of their brain lit up that activates when drug addicts see cocaine. The nucleus accumbens, your brain's pleasure and reward center, goes into overdrive. Money triggers a massive dopamine release. And here's where it gets interesting. Just like drugs, money can become addictive. Your brain starts craving more and more of that dopamine hit. But that's not all. A study published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology found something even more disturbing. Researchers gave people Monopoly money to play with. One group got more money than the other. Within minutes, the group with more money started behaving differently. They became ruder, ate more snacks without sharing, and even moved their game pieces more aggressively on the board. Think about that. Fake money in a fake game changed people's behavior in minutes. Now imagine what real money does over months and years. When people acquire significant wealth, 3 major psychological shifts happen. First, the power shift. Money gives you power. And research from UC Berkeley shows that when people feel powerful, they become less empathetic. They literally stop being able to read other people's emotions accurately. There's a famous study where luxury car drivers were 4 times more likely to cut off other drivers and less likely to stop for pedestrians at crosswalks compared to people driving average cars. Why? Because power creates psychological distance between you and others. Second, the identity crisis. Before money, your identity is built on relationships, struggles, shared experiences with people around you. After money, suddenly you don't know who you are anymore. Are people being nice because they like you or because of your wealth? This creates what psychologists call paranoid thinking. You start doubting everyone's intentions. Many wealthy people report feeling incredibly lonely because they can never be sure if relationships are genuine. Third, the entitlement effect. Perhaps most dangerous is what researchers call self-serving bias. When you're wealthy, your brain starts convincing you that you deserve everything you have because you're somehow superior. You forget luck. You forget privilege. You forget the help you received along the way. Personal note moment. This is why you see wealthy people sometimes saying things like, "Poor people are just lazy," while completely ignoring the fact that they inherited wealth or had connections others didn't. But here's the fascinating part. Not everyone changes. Warren Buffett still lives in the same house he bought in 1958 for $31,500. He drives his own car. He eats at McDonald's. Keanu Reeves is famous for taking the subway and being incredibly kind to everyone he meets. Dolly Parton has given away millions while remaining grounded and connected to her roots. So what's different about these people? Research identifies 3 key protective factors: 1. Strong pre-existing identity. People who had a strong sense of who they were before money tend to maintain that identity. They don't let wealth define them. 2. Maintained relationships. Keeping close connections with people who knew you before money acts as an anchor. These people keep you grounded, call out your nonsense, and remind you of your roots. 3. Purpose beyond money. When your purpose in life is bigger than accumulating wealth, when you see money as a tool rather than a goal, you're less likely to let it corrupt you. Chuck Feeney, who co-founded Duty Free Shoppers, secretly gave away his entire $8 billion fortune. He now lives in a rented apartment. His purpose was never the money. It was what the money could do for others. But we need to talk about something deeper here. The question isn't just, why does money change individuals? We need to ask, what does this tell us about how our society is structured? When money gives you power, when it isolates you from others, when it makes you less empathetic, isn't that a sign that something is fundamentally broken in how we've organized our economic systems? In many indigenous cultures, wealth was measured by how much you gave away, not how much you accumulated. The person who shared the most was the most respected. Imagine if our society worked that way. Imagine if status came from contribution rather than accumulation. The truth is, money doesn't just change individuals. Our relationship with money is shaped by the culture we live in, the values we're taught, and the systems we've created. So, does money inevitably change people's personality? The answer is, it doesn't have to. Money amplifies who you already are. If you're generous, it gives you the means to be more generous. If you're insecure, it will make you more paranoid. If you're kind, you can be kind on a bigger scale. The key is to build your character before the money arrives. To surround yourself with people who value you for who you are, not what you have. And most importantly, to have a purpose that's bigger than your bank account. Remember Jack Whitaker from the beginning? In his last interviews before he died, he said the money destroyed his life. But was it really the money? Or was it that he wasn't prepared for what the money would reveal about himself and the people around him? Here's what I want you to take away from this. Whether you ever become wealthy or not, start building the kind of person you want to be right now. Build genuine relationships. Find your purpose. Practice empathy. Because if money ever does come your way, you'll be ready. You'll be one of the exceptions. And if you found this video helpful, let me know in the comments. Have you ever seen money change someone close to you? What happened? Let's have a real conversation about this. Until next time, stay curious, stay kind, and keep questioning everything.